What is a secret that you will never tell anyone? When I was 9, my dad and I were reading Reader's Digest and found a magazine subscription card for a free case of Depends adult diapers, so we wrote my uncle's name and address down and put it in the mailbox. He got it a couple weeks later and called everyone in the family to find out who it was. We knew my uncle was fuming, so we kept it to ourselves. To this day, everyone suspects that it was my other uncle. I used to work in a shopping center. One time as I was walking into the building I sneezed and totally shit myself. I was about 10 steps away from the shop, so I had to think fast. I took a hard left turn and walked direct into a department store. I only had $5 on me, so I beelined for the underpants section and got the cheapest pair I could find. I then had to go to the center toilets and sort everything out. It was a real mess. I texted my boss and told them I was stuck in traffic, but in reality I was 100 meters away trying to salvage any shred of dignity I could for the next 20 minutes. I'm happy to say the mission was a success, and that day is now the benchmark by which all other days are measured. Every day since has been infinitely better. When I was in elementary school, I once lost something, so I asked to go to the Lost and Found. In the Lost and Found room, which was a big storage closet, they also stored the Cokes for the pop machines. I took one. Then, probably 3-4 times a week, I'd remember I lost something else and go steal another Coke. I don't know how long I did this for, but I got a lot of free Coke. When I was in 4th grade, I put mustard in one of my friend's burger because he had told me that he hated mustard. Turns out he was actually allergic. He didn't come to school for 3 days and I was scared that I killed him. To this date no one knows that I did it. Edit. Wow, so many upvotes, that's cool. I would like to say that don't worry, we are still on pretty good terms. I didn't know my best friend's name for almost 10 years. She goes by Katie almost exclusively and got it in my head early on that it was short for Caitlin. Imagine my surprise when I heard her being referred to as Catherine at our convocation. No right way to bring that one up in a conversation. When I was 4 years old I had hernia surgery. I wasn't supposed to go downstairs during recovery, but I snuck downstairs to find my toy toolbox and brought it upstairs to play in bed. I have never told my parents. When I was about 7 years old my dad took me to Blockbuster and I really had to pee. Blockbuster didn't have a restroom, so I peed in one of the aisles. I'm pretty sure the cameras saw me, but thankfully there was no one near me. Wow, thank you all so much. I didn't think this comment would blow up like it did. Also, I corrected the aisles, lol. About 20 years ago I worked for a big publisher. They were upgrading all their tech and just dumping it in a skip. I asked a security guy if I could take some stuff from the skip and he said to help myself as it was all going to get crushed anyway. During a night shift I filled up my car with a beige G3, Quadra Apple Macs, keyboards, mice and some 19 inches Formic screens. Some of the Macs had Quark Express and Photoshop on them. I cleaned them up and sold the lot. I made enough to buy a G4 Quicksilver of my own, which I still have today. I didn't tell my coworkers, ex-wife, managers or anyone else. Probably 15 years ago my sister had a gerbil and one day I decided to bring it out of her cage and surprise her in the living room with it. Somehow I slipped on carpet and the gerbil went flying headfirst into the wall. It basically sounded like I threw a golf ball at the wall and the gerbil wasn't moving. Naturally I put it back in its cage and removed myself from the vicinity. To my amazement the damn thing was still alive and moving around a few minutes later and lived another 2 years without anyone ever knowing that I basically Kobe'd it into the wall at full speed. In preschool a parent brought in fruit roll-ups for the entire class and they mysteriously went missing while the class was in the gym. I ate like a king after bedtime for the best week of my life. I really don't care for anyone in my family. Sometimes I just want to be alone. I don't want a partner, I don't want pets or a family. I just want to travel and live my life and wander. Work as I go and be free. Edit. Thank you for the awards, you guys. Wish I could have some extra energy, that would be nice. I lived with my aunt in 4th grade. She had a neighbor that lived downstairs, so they had a shared backyard. Rule was always make sure the latch is closed on the gate so the dog doesn't get out. I always made sure to lock it. One day I forgot. The dog got out, Chihuahua, and was ate by a big neighbor dog. Blamed it on the neighbor. She cussed him out and would badmouth him any chance she could. I was too scared to tell her and she still doesn't know, sad face. Nice try. My dad was single and a couple of my friends' moms was always bringing us food. My dad would say they were just being nice cause he was a single guy raising 3 kids by himself. My aunt picked me up from school sick and we head home. She must have known what was up and had me wait in the car. Both of my friends' moms came out half-dressed and shit with my aunt yelling at my dad. I never did tell out of fear. One mom was divorced but one wasn't and I was afraid of tearing their family apart. Will take it to my grave. I've jerk off with a pic of myself once deadpan face. I feel safe, I am not gonna hurt myself. But I sometimes feel suicidal. Feels like I should add in, I would get immediate help if I felt like a imminent threat to myself. I am also in counseling which helps but I guess I have a ways to go. Just a lot is effed up in my life not to mention the world. Just trying to make it better, the world if I can too. Throwaway because there's no chance of me ever saying this in person. As a kid I grew up in a small country community of 3,000 people, where I went to school etc. I had a crush on a girl who was 2 years older than me all the way through high school, and when I was 16 I found out she was my half-sister as my dad had cheated on my mum. This only came out when she turned 18 and found out who her dad was. Prior to that no one knew and my dad and her mum had kept it a secret for 18 years. Completely fucked with me for quite a while that I'd had a crush on my half-sister for a number of years. Bro in 3rd grade 1 thought it was cool as hell to wear glasses but I had near perfect vision, so I absolutely bombed an eye exam on purpose and now almost 20 years later I'm legally blind without glasses cause my eyes got so fucked. That's my secret to take to the grave. One time I picked up a scam call that was obviously a scam and the entire time I listened and then at the end I simply said no and the guy started cussing at me in a different language. What is a simple thing everyone should know? That you'd not be so worried about what other people think of you if you'd realize how little time other people spend thinking about you. Things could actually be much better if everyone would just chill the fuck out. When I need to remember something and I don't have a pen and paper handy, I put some item in a place where it doesn't belong. For example, say at night before sleepy time I need to remember to do X tomorrow. I throw a box of tissue on the floor in the middle of the room. Next morning I see the tissue box and wonder what the hell. Then I remember oh yeah gotta do X. Never stop dating your wife, husband. If you paid hard-earned money to sit in a dark room and watch a movie with a number of other people that did the same, be an example and shut the fuck up. Never try to put out a grease fire with water. Grease floats on water. That just spreads the fire. A fire extinguisher is good. If you don't have an extinguisher then throw baking soda on the grease fire. Baking soda is inexpensive and has a lot of other uses. Baking, cleaning. It's always worthwhile to have a box of baking soda. Don't mix ammonia and bleach. If you have an argument with your significant other, be sure to attack the problem, not each other. How to say no. Some people in the world will fuck you up for no reason at all. This is just the way it is. You only need a pea-sized amount of toothpaste when you brush. Stop wasting yo-tubes. Basic cooking skills, it will save you a ton of money and when you get good at it, you like it better than most cheap restaurants. If you have the right of way, it is your legal obligation to take it. If you don't follow the rules of the road, you will eventually cause an accident. If someone's answer is no, followed by an excuse, especially one containing a problem, the answer is no and the excuse is an attempt to spare your feelings. Offering solutions to the problem or minimizing it is not going to score you any points. When you merge, you need to be going the same speed as traffic. When you get into the acceleration lane, you accelerate. Find a gap, match speed with it, signal and ease over. If you slow down or brake in the merge lane, you are an asshole, and you're fucking everyone's shit up. Try turning it off and on first. If I have both earbuds in I don't want you to talk to me. Going to therapy is more like getting a gym membership than taking a car to a mechanic. You get out the work you put in. It's okay to cut toxic people out of your life, even if they're family. Faking confidence is just as good as actually having it.